Hello, my name is Doug Dedman. I'm the president and principal of DBM Systems. At DBM, we're all about helping companies unlock the value of sales and operations planning. In this video series, we're working through the key elements of making S&OP work: process, family structures, and data. Today, in the fourth and final video of this series, I'm going to dig further into the third of those key elements to making S&OP work. More specifically, why data is important to your S&OP process, what data you need, and how to display that data. I encourage you to go back and watch the first three videos as we were building on the concepts that I had outlined in that intro video. Balancing an unconstrained view of the business with a constrained view of the business and tying this together, and how the data supports the monthly S&OP cycle and a constrained view of families that are supported by a market view of demand. I want to start today's topic with a question. Have you ever sat in a presentation, specifically an S&OP presentation, where a lot of different graphs were used to present various aspects of the business, but it never really came together? Finance started with a summary or financial view of the business, then sales dug into all the marketing presentation with their future projections, focused on market segments and the geographic regions, and then finally, operations presented a picture of inventory metrics and efficiency metrics. At the end, you had lots of information, but the story of what is happening wasn't clear. I have, and it was frustrating. It was unclear exactly where we were going, what the risks were, and who truly was accountable for the plans. Addressing this frustration is the first place to start in any implementation. Get a single view of the story and see where you're at. Have the right data pulled together at the right level of granularity. To do this, we use something called the 5-section sheet for each and every S&OP family presentation. Using this 5-section sheet, you can see first, what is your current plan? Secondly, how does this plan compare to our last plan? What have we changed and where did that happen in the planning horizon? Was it in the next month? Was it 3 months from now? Where have all these changes happened? How confident should I be in the plan? In other words, do our future plans line up with past results? Have we demonstrated that we're in control of the business, and are we aligned across the organization? The data presentation needs to bring together demand and supply in a way that validates that we are aligned, or simply put, the math needs to work. The data and the way this is presented in the 5-section sheet provides a view that answers all these questions. So, how does it work? Well, it all starts with collecting the right data. You want to start with your current or actual data, which should come directly from your ERP system to ensure the S&OP process is connected to your execution and financial systems. If the ERP data doesn't make sense or it isn't clean, this should be driving improvement to other projects, to other processes, but you do need this data. For example, if the age backlog, when you're reviewing it by family, is consistently past due, seeing the summary data each month should drive improvements for backlog management. It is strongly recommended that you have some sort of identifier in your ERP system for the S&OP family. So this will support you being able to pull this data quickly. The data for the family in the 5-section sheet also needs to be normalized across sales and operations to give a complete picture of what is happening in the family. All the data should be in the same unit of measure. You should be able to compare actual data to the plan for each month completed. And future plans should be balanced and incorporating any firm orders, production or open customer orders, which is really backlog, that's available in your system. In this way, it's all connected. So let's look at how all of this comes together in a simplified 5-section sheet. Looking at this sheet, the blue rows show the actuals, month 1 and month 0, and the current plan, month 1 to month 3. Right above this, we have the previous plan. In the example, February, or the gray column, is the month we just completed. Just so you know, we've truncated this sheet. Normally we'd show a 12-month rolling, and we're really only showing the first 3 months. So now let's start with the sections. We'll start with bookings, which is the orange arrow. This is your order inflow. The actuals for February, the sum of new orders that were taken in the previous month compared to the forecasted bookings for the month. March and forward is the forecasted plan that has been developed by sales. The next section is shipments. These are the green arrows. The sum of the shipments that have happened. These are the actuals and the plan. In this case, we're showing the constrained shipment plan represented in the executive S&OP meeting. This brings us to the next section, which is backlog. These are the blue arrows, and this represents the buffer between bookings and shipments. If a new order comes in and it isn't shipped until sometime in the future, it has ended up in the backlog. The age backlog is a snapshot of these current customer orders based on the month you have promised them. This is a picture of your customer commitments. The total backlog, on the other hand, is a forward projection of the backlog based on bookings and shipments. So this is your previous backlog plus bookings minus shipments to get you to the new backlog. The projected backlog line should reflect any plans you have to reduce or increase lead times. If we take a second, go back to that above the line unconstrained versus below the line constrained view, balanced view of S&OP, the 3 elements I just spoke about, bookings, shipments, and backlog, should all be tracked at that demand stream level and consolidated down to the family view as we link back to the family structure. The unconstrained view of this data is above the line. If you're not sure if your S&OP process uses this unconstrained versus constrained view, we recommend taking our free S&OP assessment. Head over to our website, www.dbmsys.com, and click on the S&OP assessment at the top. It only takes a couple minutes to complete, but in the end, you'll receive some valuable insight on where your current process stands and any custom recommendations to help you improve. You can click on the link in the description to take that assessment. So now let me get back to our simplified sheet. We've covered the demand side. Now let's look at the supply, which is the red arrows. And really there's 2 important parts on this supply section, the supply plan and capability. The current supply plan shows the actual production and the planned production. So that's month 0 and then month 1 plus for each month. The plan is production's commitment to a build quantity. This is constrained by the capability for this family. Planned increases or decreases in capability should be reflected in the capability line. And by the way, capability includes both production and supply chain. The bottom section of the 5-section sheet is inventory. These are the yellow arrows. This is really just a calculated number. It starts with the month-ending inventory from the month we just completed, in this case February. The calculation going forward for each month's ending inventory starts with the current inventory and is projected by using the following formula. The ending inventory is equal to starting inventory plus supply minus shipments. A balanced plan should hold the inventory below the target level and above 0. The other reason that I'm a firm believer in the 5-section sheet format is that it provides clear accountability for a family plan across the business. Let me be specific on what I mean by looking at the data elements of the 5-section sheet to see where the accountability should lie. We'll start with the easy ones, booking and supply. Bookings. The accountability for bookings, incoming orders, is clearly linked to sales or marketing. These are the demand generators of the business. This is the above the line or the unconstrained view of the business. Production or supply, well, the accountability for this is operations. They're responsible for setting and delivering the production plan. Of course, this needs to link to the master schedule and to the material plan, so we're pulling in supply chain as well. This is below the line, or it is the constrained view. And that brings us to shipments. This is where it gets interesting. Sales is accountable for the unconstrained shipment plan. However, the final shipment plan needs to be supported both by sales and operations. When we arrive at this is the constrained shipment plan. The senior executive is accountable for signing off on this plan, as it is the plan that straddles the line between the unconstrained and the constrained view. When it comes to backlog and inventory, these are both outputs of the plan. They're strategic buffers between customer demand and supply capability. You should set a target for both of these and use the process to monitor where you're at. Targets for backlog and inventory are part of the family strategy, as these buffers relate directly to service levels and lead time. I've just really touched on this, and there's so much more I could cover about the 5-section sheet, but I wanted to give you an introduction, give you kind of a taste on how the specific data presentation can help you drive effective S&OP discussions in your executive meeting and throughout the monthly process. I start every engagement with new clients by putting together a 5-section sheet. Once I have this, even if I don't know much about their particular business, I'm able to get a story or a picture of what's happening in the business. A story that can be easily understood, and more importantly, I can quickly evaluate if the plans are realistic and aligned. A couple of resources for you to consider if you want to know more about the 5-section sheet. There are a couple links in the description of this video to articles that are on our website and how we use this format in the executive S&OP presentation, and also outlining the basic data that's covered in the sheet. Another great resource is Duncan MacLeod's book, Sales and Operations Planning: How to Run an S&OP Process Everyone Understands. It's available both on Amazon and on our website. Duncan is the founder of DBM and has been a friend and mentor of mine for many, many years. I hope you found this series on making S&OP work, focusing on the monthly cycle, family structure, and finally data, and the 5-section sheet helpful on your S&OP journey. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel to be notified when our next video is available and to stay up to date with our bi-weekly S&OP videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel for more on implementing S&OP. You can learn more about how DBM can take your process to the next level by visiting our website, www.dbmsys.com. Thank you and take care.